This video, I'm going to show you why you should never go to sleep without doing this one thing. This is something that I began applying in my life not that long ago, and it has changed everything. Welcome back to another video. My name's Aaron, and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be showing you a technique, something that I do every single night before I go to bed, and if you do it before you go to bed, it changes everything about you, especially over time. Imagine doing one thing one day, but imagine doing it many days in a row. It begins to compound over time. So this is something that I want to share with you because it's something people, they go to bed and they don't do it. They go to bed and they don't have the intention, or it's like almost they're not able to work on themselves while they're sleeping because they don't do this one simple thing. So what is that thing that I'm sharing right now that I'm bringing a whole bunch of suspense to? This one thing, and it's one thing that I learned from, I don't even remember where I learned it. It's just a saying that I heard that I then did research on and found out how powerful it is. So the one thing that you want to do every single night, you don't want to go to bed without doing it, is to give your subconscious mind a command every single night. Now understand, your subconscious mind is running your life experiences. So every single night as you go to bed, whatever you're thinking about, that is going into your subconscious mind. Now what are most people thinking about as they lay themselves down to sleep? They are thinking of how their day went, what this person at the office should or shouldn't have done. They're thinking about all the things that may have gone wrong. And when you're thinking of what's going wrong as you're falling asleep at night, that's literally impressing upon your subconscious mind negative desires, negative intentions, negative images in your mind of other people, how you relate to other people, and that's going to cause a lot of resistance in your life because your subconscious mind runs over 90% of your life experience. Now, this is the reason why the thing you don't want to do is to vent about your day, to think about everything that went wrong, because as you're going to bed at night, you are drifting, your brain state is drifting into becoming more and more impressionable as you fall asleep, especially the last 10 to 15 minutes, 20 minutes before you go to bed. So literally as you're falling asleep, how you are feeling, the images that you're placing and you're thinking about and the emotions you feel, it's going into your energy field, and then you're going out into the world the next day when you wake up. All of that has been recycled through your energy field as you fall asleep. So the power of this video that I want to share with you, that I want to really show you, is the way that I've been doing it. It's different than the way that you might think. There's a couple ways I've shared this before on the YouTube channel, but the way that I want to share it with you today is understanding a process that has to do with something that I call a frame of reality. And it's loosely related to that or actually very consistently related to a process in a book called Reality Transurfing, which is a Russian book from a quantum physicist that has to do with how reality works and understanding that quantum physics and how we create different probabilities in our life using different intention and how we can go about creating our life. And it's a book that's starting to get a lot more momentum here in the US. Apparently it's like the Think and Grow Rich of Russia, and it's very powerful, very, very powerful book. I've been learning about it for years, and there's a process in there called a slide technique. And what I've done is I've used that slide technique in my own way, and I use it as I'm going to bed at night. In a way, what I did is there's a book by Neville Goddard called The Feeling is the Secret, and this book shows you that when you're going to bed at night, what you want to do is you want to feel the emotions and to see yourself as the best version of you. And as you're falling asleep at night, because you're moving from that of the beta state to the alpha state to the theta state, and because your subconscious mind primarily operates in a theta state, what happens is as you're falling asleep at night, you are moving into those deeper levels of the subconscious mind, and whatever images you press upon it as you're falling asleep will then impact you and have a powerful effect on your subconscious mind. Now, what I'm doing is I'm merging that with a vision, with the slide of that of Reality Transurfing, and these two ideas together have changed everything about my life. Like right now, I am inside of an Airbnb in Tulum, Mexico, and I've been here for about a week and a half, and this is where I'll be for about a month, and I'll be going to that of Costa Rica. And the lifestyle I live literally to a T is something that I use as the slide technique, and something that I also used as that feeling is the secret. So as I would go to bed, I would run that slide through my mind many times, and it is so powerful. And in this video, I'm going to share with you how to do that. So when we're looking at this process, understand that most of your subconscious mind has been programmed since you were a kid, because this is the thing. Let's say between the ages of 0 to 8 years old, you're primarily in a theta state, which is the deepest level of brainwave activity that we're consciously awake for. We get into that state now when we're getting ready to fall asleep, and when we're in deep levels of meditation. That's why meditation can be so powerful for also reprogramming the subconscious mind. So what happens is 0 to 8 years old, most of our beliefs are formed. For example, our parents may tell us something, we may observe the belief from our mom or our dad, and we just kind of subconsciously absorb that, and then we don't realize why we see ourselves in a certain way. And part of it could be because that's the way our parents saw themselves, and we just aren't aware that that is influencing our subconscious mind. So the thing with this is understanding that most of that is done. So think about that. Between 0 to 8 years old, we're mainly in a theta state. Then we start to move from a theta to an alpha state between the ages of like 8 or 9 till about the puberty, 13 to 15 or whatever age that is nowadays. And what happens is then we're in that alpha state, which is like a deep, still influences the subconscious mind. Anytime you're watching television, that puts you into an alpha state, which is why commercials and stuff like that have a powerful effect on the subconscious mind. It takes you out of beta state and into alpha state. And then as you go 15 and beyond, or 14 and beyond, you can be in an alpha and a beta state. Beta state's like the alert state, when you're checking your phone and checking your emails and all of that stuff. Now, the idea is that most of our beliefs are formed between 0 and 8, and then what happens is, and we're in that theta state, so we're like sponges for absorbing information. But then what happens is years later, we end up in a place to where it's more difficult for us to program our subconscious mind, because now we're primarily in a beta alpha state. But that's the key of the book that I was sharing, The Feeling is the Secret, is it talks about, it's a book by Neville Goddard, is written a long time ago, but it's so powerful. It's so simple. It's just this simple idea. As you're falling asleep at night, you're moving from the beta state to the alpha state to the theta state. Think about and feel the emotions of what you want to experience in your life. And as you feel those emotions, because that's the language the subconscious mind speaks in, it's in the language of emotion. You can logically think things, but how do you feel? That feeling impresses your subconscious mind, because that's the language it speaks in. That's the language it interprets reality in. And as you feel gratitude as you're falling asleep at night, you'll notice you start to have different days. I started to apply this in my life when I was working at Barney's New York and Women's Shoes, and I would think about, and I would feel grateful for having great customers. I'd feel grateful for selling a certain amount, and that would become my reality. It really does work. I would wake up the next day and just simply know that I'm going to have an amazing day. And by having that intention, that realization, it was like I would wake up and I would just be primed for that. So every single night as you're going to bed, the one thing you always must do is set a command to your subconscious mind. However, we're going to take this a step further, because I've shared that idea before. The part that I haven't really talked about before is having that slide mixed with it. The slide mixed with it. Now the slide, this is a slide in reality transurfing terms. This is what I used to go full time on YouTube. This is what I used in many different ways of my life, and it's so powerful. Have a slide. Imagine there's an infinite number of parallel realities that exist, because there are. I mean, that's what the quantum physics is showing us. Imagine the best possible version of you. Imagine how you think. Imagine how you feel. Imagine how you act. Imagine the reality that that version of you is living in. Now, as you imagine that version of you, your body language, all those different characteristics, imagine it as you are looking through your own eyes, not as if you're watching yourself in some type of movie and you're seeing yourself do things in third person. Imagine you are walking around. If I imagine my slide right now, my slide has changed. My slide used to be I wake up living in a beautiful country, like a foreign country, exploring the world, making YouTube videos. That's my life now. Now my slide is I imagine myself in front of a large group of people, that I'm doing live seminars, I'm helping people to transform their life in person, traveling all over the world. That's my vision now. And that's my slide. Now, I wouldn't imagine it as if I'm looking at myself on stage and everyone else is in the crowd, like I'm in the crowd. I'd imagine it like I'm looking out and seeing people in front of me, smiling, grateful for the information I'm sharing, going inside and making change within themselves as they listen to me speak. That's my slide. And what you do is you imagine it as if you're living in the slide, or what I call a frame, that frame of reality. And what you want to do is you want to know and remember and think of the beliefs you have. Think of the identity of the way you see yourself. That's the key. That's what makes this different than just pressing upon your subconscious mind. What is your self-image? How do you see yourself? Because that self-image and that way you see yourself as you're going to bed at night powerfully affects you. And what I do every single night as I'm going to bed is, let me show you. This is what I do. And I'm laying down. And as I lay down, what I do is I do this. I simply I'm looking and thinking about myself in the ideal reality, the best possible version of me. Then what I normally do is I put my hands over my heart like this. And as I'm falling asleep, I am just feeling the emotions of the best version of me, knowing it's impressing upon my subconscious mind that vision, that frame of reality, that emotion, because the language the subconscious mind speaks in is emotion. So feel the emotions of you living in that ideal reality. Feel the emotions of you being that version of you, the kind of thoughts you'd have, the kind of emotions you would feel. And feel it inside of your heart and put the energy over your heart. When you do this, it is much more powerful than that of the brain. So every single night as I go to bed, I am laying in bed. I normally meditate, so what I do is right over, can you see that? Maybe it's behind this pillow right here. There is a, yeah, you kind of see it, a little candle. That's where I meditate, and what I do is I observe my thoughts for 10 to 15 minutes. Then as I get into bed, I put my hands over my heart, and I imagine that version of me, and I literally live in that reality, and I see myself. I just know that that's my self-image. Now here's the key. Set the attention and set the attention right as you're falling asleep. That is who you are when you wake up in the morning. That is who you are now. You have just chosen that as you go to bed, you set the intention that you wake up as that version of you, in that frame of reality. Now, it's not that you necessarily imagine, like if you're imagining yourself in a frame of reality where you're living in like a 10,000 square foot house or something, that you just imagine you're going to wake up there, and then if you wake up, you're mad that you're not there. No, you imagine the vibrational reality, knowing that the emotions inside of you vibrationally already exist for you to feel that grateful. That version of you has a certain level of gratitude. That version of you has a certain type of, the way that you feel about yourself. That version of you has a certain amount of a way that you feel about other people. Those emotions already exist inside of you, and all you have to do is give yourself the permission to feel them now. Even the realization that they already exist inside of you makes this so much easier to understand. But understand that for this process, as you're falling asleep at night, what you want to do is feel the emotions of you being and living in that reality, and then set the intention that when you wake up in the morning, that is who you are. It's done. Set the intention that when you wake up, that is who you are, and you feel that love inside of your heart. You feel that gratitude for who you are. You feel and you carry yourself. Your body language is that version of you. It's a part of your identity. You wake up as that version of you. And if you do that, this is the thing, every single night for months and months and months, over consistency, it begins to change, because your subconscious mind has been programmed with repetition. At a certain point in your life, you decided, this is who I am. This is the way reality works. And that remained on autopilot over and over and over again. But as you're going to bed every night, if you set the intention that you wake up, you feel the emotions as that version of you, and you just give yourself permission to wake up as that version of you, you will find that your life begins to change. Because of the repetition, because of the consistency, because as you fall asleep at night, you are getting into deeper and deeper levels of subconscious mind, which means that you influence your subconscious mind in a much more powerful way. So every single night, the one thing you want to do as you fall asleep is give your subconscious mind a command. And for me, that command is a self-image. It's for me seeing that frame of reality, that self-image where I imagine myself and feel as if I'm living in that reality now, and I just simply know and believe that when I wake up in the morning, that is who I am. It is done. It's hard to explain there's a level of certainty you can feel. And when you just focus on that certainty that that is who you are in the morning, you then give yourself more permission to be that version of you. It's a part of your identity now. You are who you choose to be. Every moment you are shifting. Every moment you are changing. Every moment you are a new person. But every morning we wake up telling ourselves the same story over and over and over again. This is who I am. This is how people treat me at work. This is how I see myself. We then subconsciously project that image out, and other people respond to us based on the way that we see ourselves. But when we tell ourselves a new story, when we realize that every day we're changing, but a lot of times we're just changing to the same thing, we can then decide, I'm going to change to become more. Not to become more, because that implies that you're not already whole and complete. You're just going to see yourself as whole and complete. You're going to see yourself as already achieving that which you want to achieve, and then you're going to align your actions to that, your thoughts to that, your feelings to that. It's a choice. Choose to be that version of you. At a certain point in my life, I chose that I'm going to be the full-time YouTuber Aaron. That is me. I simply decided I'm going to make a video every day. At the time, I had a couple thousand subscribers on YouTube, like 2,000, 3,000 subscribers. But I said, I'm going to make a video every single day. I don't care if people watch. I know that that's my ideal reality. I know that with consistency, I'll get better, and eventually something will happen. I believed in that vision, that slide of reality. I would literally imagine myself getting up every day. My slide, my frame was me getting up every day, creating a video a day, seeing myself work from home, not having to go to some job I don't care about. And over time, that became my reality. Then it changed. I said, okay, now I'm living in Vegas. I want to travel the world, do what I love, and work from online and just have an online business. Guess what? That's my reality now through using that same technique. Now in the same way, now my slide, the vision, the thing that I'm moving towards is the vision of me traveling the world and speaking to people all over the world and helping them to transform their lives. That's my current slide. And over the next 3 to 5 months, you will see that materialize in my life because I am impressing upon my subconscious mind that vision, that feeling, that emotion, and simply knowing that every single day I wake up as that version of me. It's a part of my identity. Some of the content that I share on self-image changing is the most powerful content I create. It's not the most, some people don't understand how powerful it is because the keywords self-image doesn't necessarily get the most clicks. But I promise you, the people that apply it have the most profound changes. And it's from doing it consistently. Now, something that I have that will help condense this whole entire process, one of the most powerful meditations I have that's absolutely free, is a meditation that you listen to every single night as you fall asleep that takes you through the process I just shared with you. Everything I just shared with you. As you go to bed at night, you can apply this process and you listen to this meditation before you go to bed. It is a YouTube video that's a YouTube meditation that you'll see. You can click it in the top of the description box below. And it's for reprogramming your subconscious mind as you're falling asleep. You will literally become that version of you and wake up as that version of you. So like I said, that's going to be inside of the description box. Really commit to it for 21 days. It's repetition that keeps this process going. If you commit to it, read the comments to see what is possible. You'll see from people's experience there what can happen. And simply know that this can happen for you too. This lifestyle I live, you can live as well. That's why I share this content with you. That's why I share this information with you. And all you have to do is commit to it. I committed to daily YouTube videos. I committed to meditation. I committed to some things that really transform my life. And that's exactly what I think you can do as well. That changes everything. So if you like videos like this where I'm kind of lounging around and showing behind the scenes, could you like this video? Could you smash that like button? Also, could you comment below and let me know what you thought of this video, and if you want more videos like this, plus any topics you want for behind the scenes that you would like to see into my life, and I'll show you more of that as well. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, I will see you on the next video. Peace, much love, and namaste.